Hey, it's the Terminian Hero here, and we're playing Spyro Year of the Dragon, I guess. I'm just gonna show a bunch of random things in this video that I didn't show.
I'm late for a dinner party at the Tiki Lodge, and the portal to my home just stopped working. Maybe the portal will reactivate after a few more dragons hatch.
And yeah, this right here isn't the most interesting thing, but just to satisfy the curiosity, one of the things I'm gonna be doing in this video is gonna be just showing how many eggs it actually takes to get into a lot of these levels.
Go for a nice swim at Shell Beach, and my portal just disappeared right in front of me. If you go find some more of those dragon eggs, I bet this portal will turn on again.
Because after World 1, you know, we already had all the eggs we needed, so this will just show that off, and I'll also get to show any dialogue of any characters waiting outside their portals, so... And then this one takes 20 eggs up here, but we already saw all that, so... You might also notice that I'm avoiding Hunter. That's because at one point, Hunter's not around anymore. And I'm kind of curious as to if they put signs down in places, like, if you never do this tutorial here, do they put a sign here replacing him? Or did they just not even bother because they figured you already did that? So yeah, this is just gonna be a video of random stuff, so, yeah, I'll see you at whatever's next. Okay, and another thing, you see these guys here in Sunnyville that have the big drumsticks here? And then there's the big chicken up here, right? That gets chased off by this guy. Well, there's some stuff involving that chicken that I never showed. First, let's save this guy.
Thanks for the help, but I think I would have worn him down in a minute.
Alright, now let's talk to him again.
Have you seen any of our giant chickens? The rhinox have been trying to eat them all.
So yeah, there's a little extra dialogue here, and now, if we finish this level off...
Thank you for rescuing my town. As mayor, I award you with one of our famous giant chicken eggs. I'm sorry. That was the ugliest chicken I've ever seen.
Okay, now if we head back... Okay, it doesn't look like that's active yet. But if we actually... I think we have to enter an area and come back. So I'm just gonna do that here.
Hi, Spyro. I found this gladiator.
I don't want to talk to you. I want to specifically avoid you.
Yeah, maybe you better practice a bit first. Just come back here when you're up for a challenge.
Just had to flame him a bit because he can be a jerk sometimes. Anyways, now it should be working, I think. Yeah, here, the chicken's back.
Look, a chicken turned up. I hope it's not the only one left.
So yeah, we've got what's possibly the final giant chicken here, and you actually get to go up to it and try to fry it, but it doesn't work, so I just thought that was a neat little thing. Anyways, that's all for now, so moving on to whatever's next.
Get away from me, dragon. You've got no money. Come back when you find some gems.
I just think it's funny how he says that. Get away from me, dragon. You've got no money. But, yeah, so now we can see that it doesn't look like people are by their portals anymore. I mean, Hunter's here because he teaches you how to climb, but there's no one guarding this portal, which takes 25 eggs to get into. And it's not just because it was up a ladder with Hunter there. These other ones don't have anyone by them either. Bamboo Terrace takes 30 eggs. And over here, this takes 36. And on a side note, it's feeling really weird skipping all this stuff. Just thought I'd mention that. Alright, see you at the next thing. Okay, now here... it looks like we got in this guy's way. I heard that you can... Here we go.
Please, would you be so kind as to step aside?
Yeah, this is one case where you can actually get into character's way, or into a character's way, and they have unique text for you. It doesn't look like these guys have much to say about it. Like, they don't really have too much interesting to say, because they're just random characters. I'm so sorry for flaming you, Panda, but I think I have to attack you in order to get your text prompt. Or maybe not, but it's really awkward otherwise. Do they all just say the same thing? Don't make me flame you. I don't want to flame cute little Panda. But you're making this rather difficult. Oh my gosh. I'm like rapidly tapping triangle in the hopes that the prompt will come up. Okay. Seriously. Text prompt. Oh, when they said that this was hard to do, they weren't kidding. Please. Text prompt. Well, that is an interesting scream. But yeah, so as you can see, there is very rarely heard text in this game. That took way too long to get that to work, though. But, yeah, I mean, some text that's pretty rare to hear is what Moneybags says when you don't have enough money, because seriously, when do you not have enough money? But most of the time it seems like that's not very interesting. You know, it's not as good as when you say no to Moneybags. Can I get you to talk to me too? But yeah, so some of this dialogue is just like very rarely heard. I don't know if I can get these guys to say it anymore, but you get the idea. So we'll just move on to the next thing now. Okay, another thing to note. This scene, Spike is born.
Idiotic, worthless fool.
I showed this during the LP, but one thing that's interesting about this scene is that it's apparently not in the non-greatest hits version of this game, at least according to the Spyro wiki, but I'm playing on the non-greatest hits version of this game, so I don't know what it's talking about. The Spyro wiki talks a lot about differences between the normal NTSCU version, the greatest hits NTSCU version, the normal PAL version, and the greatest hits PAL version, and there's a lot of things that it says about this version of the game that just doesn't seem to be true from my experience with it, but I'll talk more about that later. As epic as Fireworks Factory is, it has an equally epic number of eggs required to enter it. And over this way, Charmed Ridge needs 58. And the Honey Speedway needs 65. I kind of figured there wouldn't be people in front of these doors even before we found out that there weren't people in front of the doors in the last hub. Just because this is underwater now. But yeah, I guess it looks like it was only the first hub that had people waiting outside their not working portals, so that's a bit sad. Anyways, moving on to the next thing. Now, I have to say, I love these guys. Just listen to their voices.
It would be easy to get up to that treasure if you had something to stand on.
Yeah, if you had something to stand on. Like, they've just got, I don't know, their voice is amusing for some reason. But he talks about if you had something to stand on. Well, you could use that enemy there, and I showed you this before, but you can freeze him. But what I didn't show is me talking to him afterwards. Which...
Purr. I don't know why, but I feel really cold.
Like, I just love that voice. It's so amusing. I don't know why, but I feel really cold. So, yeah, so it's kind of a pointless thing to point out, but I just thought it sounded amusing, so I figured I'd add it in. See ya for the next thing. Alright, Hunter has now been captured, but as you see, he is still here. He's supposed to be in a cage right now, but he's still there, and he's still over here. And I'm wondering, like, the thing is though, those are tutorial spots. So I'm wondering if we go to a place that actually has a proper mission for us, like that they might not expect you to do right away at the beginning of the game, like the tutorial stuff. Like, what happens if we go to the skate park here? Will Hunter be here? It feels so weird that I still haven't got this stuff. Ah, here. Now they actually acknowledge that he's kidnapped. Attention, Dragon, if you ever want to see your mangy cat friend again, you had better leave here at once. The Sorceress. I think they used that message on another sign. I've already shown in the LP the signs in the worlds connected to the third hub. But this is the first time we're seeing one at the second hub here. And let's see. Where... Oh yeah, this is the first time we've seen one in the first hub. We found all the hunter signs in the third hub. And I think that Enchanted Towers is the only place... Yeah, that's the only place in the second hub where Hunter would show up. He technically appeared in the actual home world twice, but we had to get rid of him those times because the trigger for getting rid of him was going in Enchanted Towers and going in the Spooky Swamp or whatever it's called. So I'm just gonna head in here quick. I assume that there's a sign here now too. Oh, and also the flying stages. That's another place where he shows up, because that's where you play as him. So we know that when he's captured, he doesn't appear in the World 3 skate park or the World 3 flying stage. We saw that in the LP. I've got your slow-witted furball friend in a cage, and you're going to be next, the Sorceress. That one sounds like I haven't heard it. I also haven't been to the flying stages yet here. There's actually something important I want to mention about the flying stages. Now, the Spyro wiki hasn't been completely accurate with these games having, with the different versions of this game. But one thing I heard, first of all, I heard that in one stage in the game, it's possible to miss a gem and never get it back, like it's glitched. I'm not sure what version of the game that's in. I think it's one of the PAL ones. But in these speedway levels, if you have the non-greatest hits PAL version of the game, it's really important to note that you actually need to do the missions in order. You need to do time attack first, and then the race, and then Hunter's mission. Attention, Dragon, if you ever want to see your mangy cat friend again, you had better leave here at once. Yeah, so they are reusing messages on these signs. But yeah, because what actually happens... No, I don't want to try again. But yeah, because what actually happens is if you do the race before the time attack on the non-greatest hits PAL version of the game, and then you do the time attack, you can win the time attack, but it won't give you the egg. And if you do Hunter's mission first, that, if you don't do Hunter's mission last, then whatever missions you haven't done, the game won't give you the egg for. So that is something really important to note. That could really screw you there. And of course, again, this is assuming that the Spyro wiki is actually right about this. I mean, they've said so much stuff that should be wrong with the version of the game I'm playing, but this version is fine for me. So that's weird. Specifically, there's something... I already talked about the spike scene, but there's also something with the final boss that should be messed up with my version of the game, but it's not. Okay, and let's just go over and check on Hunter quick here. I know it's going to be another sign, but I want to see if it has a message we haven't seen before. Attention, Dragon, if you're running blah blah blah, it's just the same thing we've seen. So yeah, I guess I'll move on to the next thing now. Alright, so Barf here is another one of those characters that you can get in their way and have them say something different.
Hey, you're in the way! Move it!
Yeah, Barf has always been a bit of a jerk.
Hey, Brainiac, you're supposed to be smart. Why don't you try pushing those blocks around to bridge that gap?
Alright, so back to here. We've got 70 eggs for this place. 80 to go here. Yeah, 80 for those dino mines. 90 for the last speedway. And then there's the ones we know. 100 for the final boss. And 100% for the super bonus round. Which is right back here.
Hello, Sparks. Maybe before you take on the nasty crawdads, I should give you some help. To start, let's practice shooting. Press the circle button to shoot these targets.
You mean like this, right?
That looked like it hurt. Maybe you should have tried to shoot them like I told you. Just press the circle button to shoot the targets.
Yeah, she'll give you some different dialogue if you fail the tutorial. And this is interesting because
You can also
yeah,
move
there's
quickly by charging.
it's pretty rare for Sparks to talk or for someone to talk directly to Sparks. So anytime they have a chance to give Sparks some sort of personality, it's kind of interesting. And that said, if we fail this tutorial here...
Now for the hard part. Being a maneuverable dragonfly, you can also slide in any direction. To slide, hold down the L1 or R1 button. Then move with the analog stick or directional button. Try sliding up and down to hit the targets in this room.
You mean like this?
Are you paying attention, Sparks? I told you to use slide to target those crawdads. If you don't learn how to use all your skills, you'll never survive the challenges that lie ahead, and Spyro would never forgive me for that. Use the L1 or R1 button. Then move with the analog stick or directional button.
So yeah, there they kind of, like all that extra dialogue, just kind of emphasizes the closeness of Spyro and Sparks. Which, like I said, it's neat whenever they, you know, give more personality to Sparks, because he really never had any personality before this game. So yeah, there you go. And you might be wondering here, what happens if we do the final boss without freeing Agent 9? Also, I'm avoiding catching that thief for a reason. But yeah, what happens if you do the final boss without freeing Agent 9?
Time to kick some Sorceress butt.
Yep, he's just freed. In fact, once you enter the I'm not sure if it's when you enter the final boss arena or when you beat the final boss. But Moneybags just goes away. Anything that you didn't pay for, you now don't have to pay for. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in... Well, actually, no, I've got more stuff to talk about here. Because this final boss... supposedly, in the PAL versions of this game, this boss has the same music as Spike's battle theme. And supposedly in the NTSC non-greatest hits version... And this boss has... Because the thing is, this boss is supposed to have its own music in all versions, but apparently it's glitched, so in the PAL version, it's Spike's theme, and in the NTSC non-greatest hits version, it's actually Sunrise Springs theme. Which makes things really awkward since it's such a peaceful song for the final boss. But as I said before, I am playing the non-greatest hits NTSC version. And I've got her proper boss theme going here, so... Again, Spyro Wiki is being questionable at best. They messed things up during my Spyro 2 playthrough by telling me that Turtle Beach came before Hurricos and causing me to do the levels in the wrong order. And now they've got all this stuff that they're not correct about. Anyways, so now I'll meet you back at Midnight Mountain after I beat this boss. Alright, so back out here. We see money bags here. We see an egg here. This is the egg that thief had, but since Moneybags is there instead of the thief, although Moneybags kinda is a bit of a thief, but, yeah, so the egg that the thief had is here now. And if we go to chase, well, first of all, I'd just like to show that Agent 9 is now free. I didn't free you, Agent 9. But yeah, so we no longer have to pay Moneybags at any of the places that we still didn't pay them at.
Don't worry, Spyro. I won't be needing any more of your money. Now.
But when we do the chase here, since we didn't pay him as much, that unfortunately means we're not gonna be getting as much back from him, which means that we don't get to chase him for as long. Yeah, look at that. You hit him 7 times instead of 15. One other thing to note about this place. You see the portal to the super bonus round over there? Well, it's theorized that that portal was once intended to be on that island up there. Don't know if it's true, but that island is unreachable without cheating, and it has 3 lives on it. So, yeah, not much left to show off now, but there is still a little more, so I'll cut to the next thing now.
That last egg must have had some extra magic, because it gave Sparks 2 new abilities. Now he can break open treasure chests, and using the Atlas, he can warp you to any level. Just select the level you want and press the square button.
Well, we just saw Sparks break open that container there. So yeah, I want to show off Sparks' 2 new abilities since we couldn't before. So he's breaking open those baskets. I'm not sure what all types of containers he can break open. Looks like he can break open bases. We know he can't break these open because he couldn't in the super bonus round. What is another place? I know there another type of container we could test out would be the underwater ones. Where haven't I destroyed underwater ones? Here, Evening Lake World. Let's test out our warp. And there we go. That's the warp in action. Now I'm pretty sure yeah, here we go. And yes, Sparks breaks open those as well. There's one more type of container I can think of, which I really doubt Sparks can break open. I'm just gonna go back to the Midnight Mountain home for this, because I want to go to Agent 9's lab, since I know one of those containers is in that level. Oh, and I would also like to point out the skill points. So apparently you do need all the skill points to get the epilogue. But once you beat the game, it tells you what all levels have skill points, unlike in Spyro 2, where there's just a skill points page, and you don't know how many skill points there are, or what levels they're in, or anything like that.
What was that?
What was that? I don't know what that was.
Agent.
That was SpongeBob. Okay. But yeah, I know there's one of these containers. Well, there's those flying containers too. Too bad I didn't leave any of those around on Sergeant Bird's base. But I do know one other level where those flying containers are. Can I please shoot this? I need Sparks back. Okay. So no, Sparks cannot destroy those. But if we go to Enchanted Towers here, I want to test out the containers that are flying. Shouldn't take too long to get there. In fact, I don't even need to go to Sergeant Bird. I can just... Okay, Sparks does not break those either. So, yeah. There's only one more thing I can think of to cut to, so I'll do that now. Actually, there's another thing that I didn't think of last time that I can point out here. Did you know that there is a portal in the true final battle arena? You can't get to it, and if you like hack your way to it, you find out that it's solid and it's not actually a portal. But it is there. And just a few other things to note. There are a few other containers that I tried opening with Sparks, but he couldn't open any of them. That would be the locked chest, the explosive vases, the life bottles, and those warping question mark vases. He can't break any of those. So yeah, I would also like to note that in the Atlas here, I unlocked the epilogue before getting all the skill points, but it only had the first half of the epilogue. It didn't... I'm not sure when I unlocked the first half, but I did at some point. But the second half doesn't unlock until you have all the skill points. I'm actually on my last hit, but whatever. Anyways, I guess now we'll actually cut to the final thing. And the last thing I would like to do is just go through the Atlas with you. We'll see if any missions have any interesting names. I know there are a couple. I'm probably not gonna read hardly any of them out loud, but yeah. The names of these missions also, to complain a little more about the Spyro wiki, none of these are listed on there. So Yeah, but I'm just gonna go through them all. The Yeti doesn't have a name, he's just the Yeti. Okay, another thing to note here. There was a boss fight where you fight the Chinese dragons. It doesn't say what they're called here, it just says bad dragon. But the whole story of this game is that this part of the world doesn't have dragons anymore. They were all banished. So what was with those two dragons? Just something I thought I'd point out. Okay, here's the interesting names. I already pointed out the Crash reference in Haunted Tomb during the actual LP. But look at this, Crash Kangaroo 1 and Crash Kangaroo 2 as the missions where you're Sheila. And of course, to even further advance the Tomb Raider reference, that mission is called Raid the Tomb. I like how that's defeat the Sorceress with a question mark. These Sparks ones don't say the names of any of the bosses. That's kind of annoying. I like that. Woo, a secret egg. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's everything I've got to show. After this video, the next video that's gonna be put up is gonna be saying no to moneybags, and then it'll be my boss bash video for this game, and that's it for Spyro Year of the Dragon. I'm the Terminian Hero, and I will see you for something else.